Please make sure to like and subscribe. I will flash a picture of my analytics up on screen right now. What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be ranking all of the Chapter 5 Mythics. Chapter 5 Season 1 all the way up to Remix 2. As you know, there's only a week left of Remix 2, and I thought this would be the perfect time to do all the Chapter 5 Mythics. So let's start off with Peter Griffin's Pump. I barely remember any of the Chapter 5 Season 1 Mythics just because I joined Chapter 5 Season 1 and I was a noob then. But I did use it like once or twice. I'll put it in A tier. Um, this AR, I barely remember it. Just gonna go B tier. Same with this. Honestly, all the mythic ARs from them and SMGs were kind of B tier. Well, that one goes right there. Yeah, right there, like that. I do remember Oscar's mythic shotgun, S tier. The cloaking device, honestly, I don't even think it was that good. C tier. Cardboard box, like, come on. There you go. D tier. Uh, Ninja Turtles mythics, um, A tier. Alright, now that we got all the Chapter 5 Season 1s all the way, the only reason why I didn't talk about them that much is because I don't really remember using them that much. So now that those are out of the way, let's move on to the Chapter 5 Season 2. Hades Warforged AR. I remember using this thing. It would absolutely tear up the battleground. Like it was best in early game and mid game. Like not only I just beamed like I would beam bots and it was just, in my opinion, insane. Probably one of the best assault rifles that came out of Chapter 5. S tier. Now we're gonna talk about Zeus's Huntress DMR. Honestly, in my opinion, it's not that good. Like I used it like once or twice, used a couple times in a couple creative maps. But besides that, honestly, it's good long range, but at that point, might as well just get a sniper. Well, now that I think about it, I don't think there were snipers. Well, no. I think there was the Reaper sniper, I forget, but A tier. Right? With the Ninja Turtle weapons behind it. Now let's talk about Cerberus's mythic gatekeeper. This thing is crazy. Like, I would absolutely obliterate anyone. I always, whenever I go play a creative map that has the Gatekeeper, I always use Cerberus as Mythic Gatekeeper. Like, that's my go-to weapon in Super Red versus Blue. So, like, the Gatekeeper, in my opinion, was one of the best shotguns in Chapter 5. In fact, I think it was the best shotgun in Chapter 5. So, top of the S tier. Next, we have Chains of Hades. I personally didn't use these a lot. Like, I would use them, but I prefer shockwaves. Like, I always preferred shockwaves. But again, I was a noob then, so I didn't really know how to, like, fight with them. So, honestly, I'll be nice. Top of the B tier. Hold on. There we go. Um, this SMG, I forget who the boss was that did this SMG, but this SMG, I'll be honest, it gets an A tier. I remember using this. This was what's his name's SMG, but I do remember using it. It was better than the Peter Griffin pump, so you're gonna go top of A tier. Midas's drum gun, they kind of nerfed it a bit when they added it. If you didn't know, because I didn't know this, I really only ever used it once or twice in Chapter 5, Season 2. But if you went over to the yacht and you go talk to the Midas NPC, he would sell you his drum gun for 300 gold. I really only ever used it once or twice, and it felt kind of worse than when I used it in creative maps. The OG Midas drum gun's better, I'll be honest. This guy gets B tier. Right behind that. Next we have Zeus's Thunderbolt. And in my opinion, these deserve A tier. Like, I would use these in endgame, and I would absolutely get obliterated by them in endgame, but Do you guys remember how broken they were back when they first came out before they got nerfed? Honestly, right now in their nerfed state, I would give them like right there, like right in between the Ninja Turtles weapon. But in the non-nerf state, I would have given it S tier. So I'll be nice. It goes right there. It's better than the Huntress DMR. Waterbending was OP. As everybody knows, waterbending was absolutely OP. So I'm gonna give waterbending S tier, right in between Oscar's Frenziato and the Warforged AR. Next we have airbending. In my opinion, airbending was like a good mobility item because like I would always use the airbending just to get around the map and stuff. It was a great mobility item. Honestly, for me, it goes B tier right before the Chains of Hades because the Chains of Hades were better, but airbending was still good. Earthbending, I personally didn't like it. I used it like once or twice, so it was like too slow. I just really didn't like it. You go C tier right before the cloaking device. And then same with firebending, but firebending is slightly better. Nitro fists. We all know how OP these things are, and we all know how much they got nerfed. Especially the mythic Nitro fists. So, honest opinion, Nitro Fist S tier, going between Oscar's Frenzy Auto and the Gatekeeper. I could obliterate anyone with them. There were a bunch of times where I like got endgame and the last person left, and I just shot them into the storm with the Mythic Nitro Fist. I stand where I stand where I stand. S tier. Next, we have Megalodon's shotgun. A tier. I would put it right before Peter Griffin's pump because like it was great at range, but like once we got to like close quarters combat, especially with the scope on it, it just wasn't as good. So I would rather just have that. Um, the Machinist assault rifle, S tier. In fact, it goes ahead of the Warforged. In fact, I will bring the Warforged down, and I'll go top of A tier. This was probably one of the best ARs in the game. I remember like I would beat the Machinist, and that was the whole only boss I needed to like win the whole entire game. Anyways, let's move on to TNT and his Boom Bolt. Yes, I know the image isn't that good. I had problems finding good image for it, so you're just gonna have to deal with this. Um, I actually personally didn't like it. Like I didn't like the medallion or the Boom Bolt. Some of my friends really liked the Boom Bolt, but I just really didn't like it. Honestly, it goes top of C tier. Well, no, I'm gonna put it in between the fire and earthbending mythics. Next, we have the conductor's hand cannon. Oh man, I love this thing. I would literally go claim the island like every round just to get the conductor's hand cannon. It is easily an S tier weapon. It is going at the bottom of the S tier though. It just barely makes it to S tier. Next, we have the Fortnite's Mythic Pumpkin Launcher. Uh, I only used it once or twice. Really didn't like it. I never kept it in my inventory. I never eliminated the pumpkin boss once. Honestly, D tier. The cardboard box does go behind it though. Next, we have the wood stake shotgun. Honestly, I never used it. Maybe I never used the mythic wood stake shotgun, but I just don't like the wood stake shotgun. Honestly, C tier. Well, no, you know what? It'll be top of D tier. Now, we need to talk about the Fortnite's Witch's Broom. This thing, I used it for rotation sometimes. Me personally, though, I didn't think it was as good as like shockwaves and stuff. So that I'm probably gonna put in C. No, B tier. It'll go right in between there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Doom Arcane Gauntlets. This was the best mythic in Chapter 5, Season 4. It goes S tier, right in between the Nitro Gloves and Oscar's Frenziata. I think they were just as powerful as the Nitro Gloves, minus the whole mobility aspect. Next we have not Megalodons, Doombot's Mythic um Monarch Pistol. I really, really didn't like the Monarch Pistol. Like, I'd rather the hand cannon. The only reason why I used it for range was because, like, usually in that season, they didn't have snipers. Like, that season, they didn't have snipers. So, honestly, the Monarch, it's A tier, but it's gonna go right in between these guys right there. Next, we have Mysterio's Sovereign Shotgun. Now, I don't think the Sovereign Shotgun was as bad as the medallion was. So honestly, I'll give it A tier. I'll give it A tier, but it's probably gonna go like right there. No, no, hold on, no, it'll go back there. There we go. Now that goes A tier. I personally thought it was like if there was like a legendary gatekeeper, I would take that. Or if there was like I didn't really like the hammer pump. Like I like the pump, but not the hammer pump. So the only reason why I want to take it is like a legendary gatekeeper. So that guy can stay there. Next we have yes, I'm sorry for the picture again. Emma Frost assault rifle. I cannot find a proper picture of it really, but the assault rifle was kind of good. I just didn't like the new style of the burst. Like once I heard that there was a new burst coming out, I decided to go use the old one in creative. And after using the old one, I was just disappointed, especially when the old burst came out this season, like the remix 2. So it gets A tier. I think the I think it's just slightly better than the Monarch. All right. Next, we're moving on to War Machine's Mythic. Now, honestly, War Machine's Mythic was pretty good. It at least deserves A tier. Anyways, now we have War Machine's Mythic Arsenal. Personally, I thought it was good, but not as good as the Iron Man one, so A tier. I will have to put it um hmm, it is worse than the Sovereign, so right there. Next we have Iron Man's repulsors. What can I say? This had built-in aimbot basically. Uh in my opinion it was the water bending all over again. Like these things were crazy. Like everyone would have them at endgame and stuff. Uh it gets S tier, but it's gonna go in between there and there. Next we have War Machine's flight kit. Honestly, I've really only ever used it once or twice, and that's why I didn't have any other good mobility. I really didn't like it that much. It goes C tier. It goes right in between the boom bow and earthbending. Right there. Next we have Gwenpool's dual micro SMGs. These are definitely S tier. I used these a lot. These things were crazy. Especially because like once they got added in, these things were just absolutely crazy. One of the best SMGs in all of Chapter 5. I really didn't like the Hyper SMG, so it gets S tier. It's gonna go right in between Oscars and the Arcane Gauntlets. Alright, next we have Snoop Dogg's drum gun. In my opinion, it's not. I like the design, it looks super cool, but it's not that good. You know where it belongs? B tier, right in between Midas's drum gun. It's slightly better because they buffed it. Next, we have Tina's Kaboom Bow. I have the same opinion on the Kaboom Bow as I have on the what is it? It just goes. It's slightly better than. Well, it's actually slightly worse. There we go. Next, we have Meowdus's Pew Pew, and I personally like it. Like a lot of people really, really don't like it, but I personally like it. It is better than the Harbinger SMG. So this guy right here, he's gonna go in A tier, right there. Next, we have RG's minigun. Of course, this next we're gonna talk about RG's minigun. This is easily S tier. Like I pretty much can't live. Like I can't win a whole entire game without using this thing. So S tier. Better than Gwenpool's dual micros. Not as good as the Arcane Gauntlets. Alright, next we're going to be talking about Emma Frost's Scar. What can I say? It's basically just a good Scar. Top of A tier. Uh, what do I need to say about a Grappler? I hate it. It's revolting. Slightly better than the Pumpkin Launcher. Alright, next we gotta talk about Juice WRLD Chug Cannon. Yes, I know this is an exotic. Technically not a mythic. But I decided to include it in this list. Because he's technically like a boss sort of NPC. So this guy goes up here. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Top of B tier though. Well, no. I'll put it like uh, oh, oh, there we go. Next we're gonna talk about Kit's Shockwave Launcher. Best mobility item. You know what I think of the Shockwaves. This is the absolute best mobility item besides the Nitro Fist. This is going S tier, right behind the Nitro Fist. I really, really don't like Kit's mythic charged shotgun, so honestly, it's gonna go C tier for me. It's better than it's better than the explosive thingies. Anyways, that's all for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment your own thoughts on these mythics below.